So I want to thank he and his family for taking on this leadership role. Congratulate them for coming home, because at the end of the day, they're coming home to Ohio. Let me introduce to you our head football coach, Urban Meyer.
Late November, Urban Meyer introduced as Ohio State's head coach, and history tells us when Urban shows up, things will get better and get better quickly. Win total skyrocketed his first year at Bowling Green, 6 more wins than the year before. He was +5 at Utah, +2 at Florida. Urban Meyer is with us now. Coach, you have done this before. How does this situation compare to what you took over at Florida?
It's very comparable. We got a good group of guys that I like to work with, good players, and a great place, a place that gives you everything possible to go win a bunch of games. And so it's very similar.
You have done it before, but this is the first time you've put Ohio State through camp. What was the one thing you had to teach them what you wanted during training camp?
Oh, the good thing is whenever you take over for a good coach, from a good coach. I took over for Ron Zook down in Florida, and he's a hell of a football coach. I took over for Jim Tressel and Luke, and they're great coaches. So we have our own little ways of doing things, but I mean, was there a bunch of changes? No. We one thing we did, we moved off campus. I like to create a pro environment where if you look at these fields, they're not the greatest in the world. They're getting ready to go back on the golf course fields here in a minute. And that's just a theory of you have to feel bad before you feel good. And we tried to blow them out. And now we play in 2 weeks. It's time to get them back.
Talk a little bit about the development of Braxton Miller.
Nice. He had a good day today. He's still an athlete playing quarterback as opposed to a quarterback that's an athlete. That's, some people say, what's the difference? It's a huge difference. His idea of creating a play is just going. And there's times he will, which is fantastic. But as you mature, as a quarterback, we had Josh Harris, we had Alex Smith, we had Chris Leak and Tim Tebow. It's a normal progression. Instead of just panicking and running, there's a system in place. Find the guys and go through your progression, and there'll be a guy there for you.
Urban, how much has this offense changed since you installed it and get in Bowling Green?
What a great question. It's changed a lot. I mean, because we really didn't know it. We put together an offense without all the, I don't want to say all the answers, but and defenses were really easy back then. We played Missouri, I remember, in the first game of the year, and we beat them, and we shouldn't have beat them, but they played 4-4 defense and didn't adjust. And we ran speed. Just think about your coach. We ran speed, option, and trap, and we won a game. That's what we ran. Where now it's the multiplicity, especially in the 3-4 defense. It's evolved quite a bit just because the defense has evolved so much.
When you have this offense and it's clicking, and today it looked like it was really clicking, how do you assess the defense, or how do you get them better?
Well, Luke Fickell's job is not to defeat the Ohio State spread, and that's the fine line that, like an Oregon or a team that runs a style of offense, that your defense has to be ready for 21 or I formation games. They have to be ready for the stretch play. We don't run the stretch. They have to be ready for certain plays. So starting next week, and I was going to do it, but Luke just wanted us to go against good on good. We're going to take our 2 offense and basically run scout work for the defense for the next 2 weeks. So I'm not worried about them stop. What I am worried about, what you saw today, is any inside run, the off-tackle power play. Our defense has to stop that, and today they didn't, so we got to work on that.
Coach, is that one of the downsides to running this offense, that sometimes your defense doesn't get prepared for the downhill attack?
It is if you let it, but if you look at Bowling Green, we had the best defense in the MAC. At Utah, we had the best defense in the Mountain West Conference. At Florida, we had the best defense, or one of the top 2 defenses every year in the SEC. So we just have to be real. I mean, we do a good job saying they have priority. If they say we need to see the 1 back, 2 tight end stretch play, we're going to give it to them. So they get priority.
Coach, what kind of changes do you expect from special teams with the kick being moved up a bit?
Well, what we're going to do is, it depends on who we're going against. And I like our kickers if they can whack it out of the end zone. The big difference is it's 20 to 25, and it's not that big a difference, but it really is. So if it's a team that we feel like we can smother and go down and get them, we're going to teach our guy to drop it inside the 5-yard line. If it's a team that I don't want to see that kid with the ball in his hands, we're going to knock it out of the end zone. The other issue we deal with here, and it's been a while, is that weather. Once you hit the, you're kicking that thing into the wind, you better have a good kickoff cover unit. The other thing is they moved you up only 5 yards. This is a huge difference, and I like the rule. You're only allowed to, you can't get that running start. So it's a 5-yard. The ball's kicked from a 35. Your front foot has to be on the 30. And we practice that. I'm telling you, that is a huge difference. You're not going to see the momentum that you had before.
Coach, in the spring you talked about your offensive line being non-functional. Where is it now on the functionality scale?
That was the pre-spring and early spring. They were also, by the end of spring, we're the most improved unit, and they've picked up where they left off. Our first unit is very functional. Right tackle's new. That's Reed Fragel and Taylor Decker. One's a freshman, one's a tight end. So they're at times look like a freshman, look like a tight end, but they're also very good guys and they work real hard. So I think the first group will be functional certainly by the time we kick the ball off in 2 weeks.
New head coach of the Buckeyes, Urban Meyer. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.